Welcome to Inbox Overload. Imagine walking into the world's biggest library, finding the head librarian, and just saying, "Find me a book." You don't mention a genre, an author, or anything you're interested in, just a book. And then you get angry when they bring you a dusty old textbook on 17th century basket weaving. That sounds ridiculous, right? But that's pretty much how most of us talk to AI, and it's a huge reason you're getting garbage answers. If you've ever felt that frustration, that moment where you ask ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude for something and what you get back is bland, generic, or just plain wrong, well, you're not alone. You've probably blamed the AI thinking this thing is dumb or it just doesn't get it. But here's the secret that separates amateurs from people who get 10 times better result from the exact same tools. A major part of the problem isn't just the AI. It's the prompt. So now let's be clear. AI has its own limitations. It can hallucinate facts, it can be biased, and it definitely lacks real-world understanding. But the quality of your prompt is the one thing that you can control, and it makes a world of difference. It all comes down to a classic computer science principle: garbage in, garbage out, GIGO. The idea is simple. If you give a system vague or low-quality input, you can expect vague and low-quality output. AI isn't magic. It's a powerful tool that works with what you give it. Many people treat AI like it's a search engine that just looks up an answer. It doesn't. At its core, an AI is a wildly complex prediction engine. It's been trained on a vast but not unlimited collection of text and data from the web, books, and other sources. Its main job is to predict the next most likely word in a sequence based on the pattern you started. And while it's fine-tuned with other techniques to be more helpful, that core function of prediction remains. Think of it less like a genius and more like the world's most knowledgeable, eager to please, but extremely literal intern. If you tell an intern, "Hey, make a presentation," and then walk away, what do you expect? You'll get their best guess. But if you tell them, "I need a 10-slide presentation for the quarterly marketing review about our social media growth using our company's official template, and the tone should be professional but optimistic," well, then you're going to get something infinitely more useful. The AI is that intern. It doesn't know your business context, your goals, or your unspoken expectations. Vague prompts lead to vague answers. The good news? You don't need to become a prompt engineer to fix this. You just need to get better at communicating. So, how do you stop getting garbage and start getting genius? How do you turn this frustrating, literal-minded intern into a round-the-clock consultant? You do it by giving the AI a clear and structured mission before you hit enter. You have to stop asking simple questions and start giving detailed instructions. It's been observed that many people use surprisingly short prompts, which is a key reason they're often disappointed with the results. To get into the top tier of AI users, you just need to master 3 pillars for every prompt you write. Think of it as the perfect request you should have given to that librarian. You need to give the AI a role, you need to provide context, and you need to assign a clear task. First, and maybe most importantly, you have to stop talking to a generic machine. Give the AI a role. This is often called persona prompting, and it's one of the fastest ways to change the quality of your output. By assigning a role, you're telling the AI which part of its vast training data to focus on, and what kind of expert to be. While its effectiveness can depend on the task, for creative and stylistic outputs, it's a game changer. Think back to our librarian. Instead of just talking to a general librarian, you're now saying, "I want you to act as a world-renowned specialist in early 20th century detective fiction." You see how much more powerful that is? You can do this with almost any task. Instead of a bad prompt like, "Write something motivational," try this. Act as a seasoned motivational coach who has worked with championship-winning athletes. Write a short, powerful paragraph to inspire someone on the verge of giving up on a difficult goal. Instead of, "Help me with my resume," try, You are a professional career coach for top 10 tech companies. Review my resume and suggest 5 specific improvements to make it more appealing for a senior project manager role at a company like Google. Assigning a role can instantly influence the tone, style, vocabulary, and framework of the response. You can ask it to be a world-class copywriter, a senior developer, a witty British comedian, or a patient elementary school teacher. This one step alone will dramatically improve your results. You're no longer getting a generic summary, you're getting a tailored response from a simulated expert. Are you starting to see the pattern? It's not just magic, just better communication. If you've just had a facepalm moment realizing how you've been prompting, now do me a favor, hit that like button. Let me know I'm not the only one who used to just start yelling into the void. Okay, so you've given your AI a job title. You've turned your generalist intern into a specialist. Now you need to give it context. If the role is who the librarian is, context is telling them which section of the library to go to and who the book is for. A bad prompt is, write an email to my team. The AI has no idea who your team is or what the email is about. It's just guessing. A great prompt provides the necessary background. For example, you are the head of marketing at a startup. You need to write a brief professional email to the marketing team. The context is this. We just missed our Q3 sales target by 15% due to new competition. The goal of this email is not to blame anyone, but to acknowledge the result and schedule a mandatory brainstorming meeting for next Monday at 10 a.m. to discuss a new strategy for Q4. The tone should be calm, firm, and forward-looking. You see the difference? We provided the audience, the marketing team. The background, missed sales target. The purpose, schedule a meeting, set the tone, right? So without this context, the AI is flying blind. It's forced to fill in the blanks, which increases the chance of it producing generic content or hallucinating incorrect information. Every detail you provide acts as a guardrail, keeping the AI's response on the road to relevance. All right, you have an expert, and you have an expert that knows the situation. The final pillar is the most direct. You must give the AI a crystal clear task and specify the format of the output. This is where you tell the librarian, your task is to find me 3 books by different authors from that section, and I want the output to be a bullet list with a title, author, and 1-sentence summary for each. Most people are far too vague here. They say things like, explain this or summarize that. You need to be ruthlessly specific. Instead of summarize this article, try summarize this article in 5 key bullet points, with each bullet point being no more than 15 words. Instead of explain quantum computing, try explain the concept of quantum superposition using a simple analogy that a high school student could understand. Present the explanation in a table with 2 columns, classical computing bit and quantum computing qubit. And here's a pro tip. Consider telling the AI to think step by step. Research on chain of thought prompting shows that for complex reasoning tasks, this phrase often encourages the AI to lay out its logic before giving a final answer. This can significantly improve accuracy, though its effectiveness can vary depending on the model and the task. Let's put all these 3 pillars together. The garbage prompt, write about climate change. The genius prompt, role, act as a world-class science communicator in the style of Carl Sagan, who makes complex topics feel understandable and important. Context, the audience is intelligent but non-scientific adults who are skeptical about the urgency of climate change. The goal is to inspire responsibility, not fear. Now, task and format. Your task is to write a 400-word introduction to an essay. First, think step by step to outline your key points. Then write the introduction. It should start with an awe-inspiring fact about Earth. explain the greenhouse effect with a simple metaphor, and conclude with a powerful philosophical question about humanity's choice. The output should be 3 distinct paragraphs. See, the difference in output between these 2 prompts isn't just a little better. It's 1,000% better. You've gone from a generic book report to a piece of art simply by communicating with intention. See, a huge reason why you're getting garbage answers from AI isn't because the technology is fundamentally broken, but because we often treat it like a magic trick instead of a powerful tool. We've been asking the librarian to just find a book, but now you know the secret. It's not about complex coding. It's not about being anything other than a clear communicator. For every prompt, remember the 3 pillars. Give it a role, give it context, and give it a task. Stop yelling into the void and start having a real conversation. Even with a perfect prompt, AIs can still make mistakes. But by mastering this framework, you'll be in a much better position to get great results. The difference between a worthless answer and a world-changing one often isn't the AI. It's you. If this simple framework clicks for you, hit that subscribe button because we're just scratching the surface of how to work smarter with these tools. And if you want to take your skills to the next level immediately, check out this next video right here on Inbox Overload. Thanks for joining me.